Hello everyone, welcome, my name is Michelle. Let's get started with this reading. I've asked Spirit directly what they would like me to impart to you regarding the current situations in the world. I was out and about today and I felt called to do this reading for you. So I do hope that you have a few moments to spare if you can sit down and enjoy your favourite beverage and see what Spirit has to say. I haven't read these messages yet, so I'm going to dive right in. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to start right in the center. I'm called to the Spirit Fox. The card speaks of trusting your talents in changing times. Now, when you think of a fox, I think of something that is it's really a feeling here of being able to adapt, being able to adjust to changing times, and also be able to thrive in the process. So although the energies around us are very changeable at this time, and it's a little bit uncomfortable, we are all equipped with what we need to survive this shift. Believe it or not, we're being presented with an opportunity, perhaps to reach spaces we've never encountered before, and this can make us feel a little bit on edge. But if we're open to the shifts occurring around us, we can find, instead of feeling threatened or hunted, or somehow feeling that we are being denied something, if we call upon this Spirit Fox energy, we can trust that we have all that we need to get by and adjust to changing times. Clarifying this is we have the Page of Wands. So there is that spirit within us, that spark, that inner child. If you think back when you were a younger person, perhaps a child yourself, how did you deal with difficulties in your life? How did you adapt? I think you'll find for the most part there's a lot more flexibility. That's what I'm sensing here. A lot more flexibility when we're younger. As we get older, we tend to get very fixed and very reliant on things being a certain way, very structured, a little bit rigid with our thought process. But this is about us mixing things up, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. This is a real opportunity for us to change a mindset. And it's a mindset in which we have become stuck and reliant upon things that we really don't need to be that reliant upon. But once they get taken away from us, it's almost like a codependence, isn't it? Then we start to feel at sea, we feel a little bit lost. But the essence that I'm getting around these cards, guys, is if we recognize that we were born with this innate talent to adapt to changing circumstances, that we are all this fox within ourselves, then we can adapt, we can instead of being rigid or coming up against obstacles and feeling like we're stuck, we can find a way to get around them. We can adapt to blocks in our way. That's what I'm sensing. Now, I'm called to this energy over here from the Buddha cards. It's a card of healing and longevity, and it speaks about striving to understand what underlies suffering and diseases, and it's clarified by the Magician card. So what I want to talk about here, guys, is the main focus on suffering. If you think of it, suffering is something that we are born into. And again, as long as we think of it in terms of this is nothing new, it's things that we have already dealt with in the past, that we will continue to deal with even after this is over, this event. So suffering is always around us in some form or another. What is the first truth, the noble truth of suffering? Well, first it's about birth, being born. That's suffering. Getting older, failing in health, wearing out the senses is suffering. Death, the completion of one's life, the discarding, is suffering. Sorrow, pain, grief, despair, experiencing loss, misfortune. All of these things result in worry, alarm, pain, bodily ailments, mental unpleasantness, desperation, and all of those are suffering. Disappointment too, not getting all that one desires as a result of being alive is also suffering. So in short, existence is suffering. All-seeing and all-knowing, this white Tara glows with compassion and longevity. Her light of good fortune shines upon us no matter what suffering or discomfort we feel in the present moment. So look upon this card, take comfort in its serenity, and take in the view from this lotus throne to see into the heart of the matter. Yeah, it's really speaking about matters of healing, that we all have this energy of the magician within us in order to heal. And this is not lost. It's not lost on us now. We have used it before. All of us have experienced suffering. And the thing is, if we see it as something that is not new, something that we've experienced before, something that we have gotten through, overcome, maybe even gotten something out of it, maybe a life lesson, maybe something that was more worthy of us. If we see it in terms of a more positive light, and that the energy will pass, that it's ever changing, and that this won't always be like this, then we can remember that it's during the difficult times that we learn and grow the most, and thereby have a lot more gratitude for when peace is here, or when we feel more peaceful, when we don't have as much perhaps suffering in our lives. So that's the way that I'm feeling around this. It's that energy of changing a mindset from suffering and focusing on the suffering to manifesting gratitude, being thankful for the opportunity to maybe see things a different way, maybe to learn something new, to experience something new, to get out of a rut, to get out of a period of stagnancy. Maybe it's a good time for us to sit down and take a look at what we need to make changes in our life, where we should place our focus in the future, seeing it as that. So rather than focusing on the suffering that is around us and not having the things that we would like to do readily available, see it as a brand new opportunity to create your own happiness in whatever form that means. It could be learning a new skill. It could be doing things that are more creative, like writing, playing music, listening to music. It could be experiencing nature, water activities. It could even be something like artistic in nature, painting, drawing, sculpture, creating something, even just taking an opportunity to learn new recipes, things like that, whatever that means to you, and being grateful for the opportunity to maybe have a little bit more time in our lives, because whatever we would normally be doing, we're not doing. So that extra time we can use our creativity. We can explore something new and maybe find something else that we love, something brand new, a brand new love in our life. That's what I'm sensing around this. So switching the energy from suffering to one of being grateful for an opportunity to look at things in a more creative way, getting out of that rut. Now, with the yogic path here, we have this Durga, and the energy around this card is one of inner strength and protection. So having a lot of strength, and of course we're clarified here by the Empress, so that makes a lot of sense. Having a lot of strength in the face of things that could, of course, make us crumble. So this is that bringing out that inner warrior goddess or god within us all. You'll see her here, she's carrying her bow and arrow. She's got all these various things, a golden discus, a thunderbolt, a lotus. You are embodying this fierce strength. And I also get a feeling here of overcoming hardships by sheer strength of willpower. Very much an energy here of leaping over challenges, confronting challenges. So whenever you need that extra ounce of strength, when you're just feeling a loss of power, feeling a bit anxious, sad, lost, or confused, if you could use a bit of strength to power through, just remember that hardships are temporary and they are an opportunity to develop tenacity, to make us stronger. The one thing that you can instantly change are your present thoughts. The rest will shift after that. So this really is an energy here, guys, again, of changing our mindset. And rather than focusing on the things that aren't in our lives at present, that maybe aren't all that important anyway, shifting. Recognizing that whenever you're feeling that little bit of pain or anxiety, shifting the energy, turning off the news. Regaining your power, not giving your power away to other people or to other opinions. Recognizing your strength, recognizing what you've come through in life, and realizing that, you will get through this. That's very obvious energy here. So this is really about you not giving your power away to other things around you. And I feel it has a lot to do with television, with watching too much of the coverage of this event. That's what I'm sensing around this, guys. Turning off the TV and recognizing that, I'm stronger. I don't need to listen to the fear-mongering. I don't need to listen to other people's opinions here. I have my own strength. I will get through this. I've gotten through worse. You have. The thing with perseverance from the Ganesha cards, it's clarified with the King of Swords. So yes, it's about seeing things from that more detached perspective, that calm viewpoint. So again, taking ourselves away from the drama, from the anxiety things like social media. You may want to take yourself off social media for a while, turn off the TV, all of that. I feel that this is about you seeing it for what it is, seeing it from a wider perspective, seeing it from a higher perspective, and recognizing that this too shall pass, that you will get through this. Perseverance. The thing is, we might see, some of us more than others, some financial difficulties, but this is recognizing that through your own sheer effort and hard work, there will be rewards. There will be a change in circumstances and rewards coming down the line. Ganesha's tusk here represents hard work and completing a task at hand. So the thing is, if you have been working hard, putting extra effort into something, it will be worth the effort. You will see the results and rewards for your labor. Maybe not now, but if you've been working on something quite challenging and important for the last few months, it's likely to come to a conclusion that is to your liking. Ganesha here is guiding you not to lose faith while you wait for things to come to fruition. Be patient, appreciate the progress that you've made so far, and even if your hard work hasn't yet paid off as planned, consider that your expectations here during this time may need slight modification. But in the end, there will be an end to this difficult period of financial struggle. So it's really about maintaining your focus on the work that needs to be done. And although there may not be immediate results to the hard work around you, it will pay off in the end. So try to keep that perspective in mind when you're making decisions, especially as it relates to finances, your job, all of that energy. Now, I also feel called to talk about this soothing energy from the aloe vera plant. Now, we all know, of course, aloe vera. It's used to treat burns, sunburns, cuts, dry skin. Queen Cleopatra used aloe vera as part of her daily beauty regimen. The ancient Chinese used it for wounds, for reducing fever. And written documents found in Egypt honor this sacred plant as the plant of eternity. So this is about soothing energies in any time of pain or sorrow, any trauma or physical discomfort that may be taking its toll, and yearning for the suffering to pass. So although the energies around us aren't easy at the moment, and we all crave peace to alleviate any kinds of distress, this calming, soothing energy of the aloe vera here is meant to calm any irritation or inflammation. It's a very powerful antioxidant, and it offers unique therapeutic properties, especially when applied as an ointment for the skin. So the energy that I'm feeling around this is, if you have some aloe vera, certainly use it to soothe your skin, to calm yourself. But I also feel that it's really about any kind of soothing ointment or lotion. Anything that feels good to you, nurturing, soothes you, a beauty regimen, a ritual of some kind, spa energy. You could have a spa energy at home. I don't mean you have to go out and do this. You can have a spa day in your home. Anything that soothes and comforts you. For some of you, it is a value, belief system. It could be organized religion for some of you that soothes. For others, it's more of a spiritual energy with the Hierophant card. So it's about having the wisdom, having the knowledge, what soothes you, what is going to calm you. Maybe a nice warm bath, a walk in nature. Whatever that is, you're being asked to do it for your own health. Now, when we talk about, let's go here. We have the polychrome jasper card. Now, the polychrome jasper, it has a very earthy frequency around it. It's associated with integration and reconnection. It's a shaman's stone, and it offers protection. So there's a feeling here about belonging to a greater group. So with this, it's really about belonging to a tribe, a soul tribe, a family tribe, human beings in general, how we're all interconnected. So if you feel isolated, reach out and get strength from your soul tribe. The stone offers security, companionship, grounding your efforts in the practical everyday world. Yeah, so the energy that I'm feeling around this one, guys, it's about reaching out to family and not being afraid to reach out. You know, sometimes people may feel a little bit silly for being lonely, or they may feel that they are too proud to reach out. There's a number of reasons why someone may not reach out when they would really like to hear from someone. So if you have someone around you who's a bit like that, reach out to them first, because I have a feeling that they would really like to hear from you. Take the time to connect with people. Actually speak to them on the phone. You know, this is not about texting or email. This is actual connection, but without having to actually be near them. So this is talking to grandma. This is talking to anybody around you who you feel would like to hear from you. Now, it can also be about people who are no longer with us as well. If you would like to reach out and take the time to connect in that way, certainly. So this is really about having actual time to reach out and speak to people who would like to hear from us, even though they may not admit it, or they may be too proud to reach out and say, you know, hey, I'm feeling a bit lonely. I'd really like to talk to someone. Yeah. When we talk about the dance of the Butterfly Queen, it's connected to the Knight of Wands and the Wheel of Fortune. So again, I get this feeling here of assistance, helping others in any way that we can. So if you're feeling not connected with the world, if you don't have anyone around you to reach out to, I feel that this is about possibly volunteering or just doing something for others, something that you feel passionate about, driven towards, in order to make change, to effect change, positive change in the world. I want to talk about the dance of the Butterfly Queen for a moment. It's a pure energy, it's a sincere energy, it's a loving energy, and it's a graceful energy. It's the grace of Kuan Yin, and she is the goddess of compassion. So that which was impossible becomes possible with this energy. From the caterpillar to a winged creature of delight, if you think of it that way. So there's no real restraining the butterfly, is there? It's going to come out of its cocoon, incredible as it may seem to be. So whatever is troubling us at the moment, whatever is making us be like the caterpillar, you know, in our cocoons, remember that we will eventually break free of this. We will. It's just going to take some time. That's all. But things will change, and they'll change for the better. And in the meantime, if you are someone here who feels passionate towards reaching out and assisting others, then these cards are saying, why not do that? Why not do what makes you feel good in the moment? Now, when we talk about trust and inner peace, these are clarified by the Page of Pentacles and the Five of Swords. So when I talk about this energy, it's funny because I was watching the news the other day, though I shouldn't have been, and they had a story about Jared Leto. You've probably heard this story, where he was out meditating in the desert on some meditation or spiritual retreat for about 10 or so days. So he knew nothing about what was going on in the world until he just came back out of the desert. Well, that's kind of how I feel about this trust card. It is about barrenness. You know, if you think of a desert, the desert seems parched, devoid of life. Yet it's to the desert that spiritual people go. Traditionally, the desert is the place of spiritual cleansing, renewal, profound healing visions. So just as desert terrains can feed our souls, they also nourish lands thousands of miles away. The Sahara Desert and the Amazon rainforest are, of course, a long way from each other. One, of course, is a desert, the other is a moist rainforest, lush. Yet they are connected, because every year nutrient-rich dust from the Sahara crosses over in the upper atmosphere and deposits vital phosphorus and other minerals to the Amazon, which is needful of those exact nutrients, so one can't exist without the other. So what I'm sensing here is that trust and inner peace are connected in that way. One can't exist without the other. Even when things seem a bit parched, that we don't have what we need, there is something much deeper going on here. This deeper inner knowing, this deeper energy. So it's about trust. Trusting that while things might be a little bit lackluster right now, other areas of life are being fertilized. Other areas are being, well, I see it as a growth period. And that is all about growing that inner peace. It's interesting. When we think about the koi pond here, or the lily pond, now sitting next to a lily pond, watching the dragonflies looking at the lily pads. It fills one with the sense of peace. Now, lilies have, of course, been given a long range of meanings in the world, but one is the notion of things coming out of the dark, things arising out of the mud, out of the darkness. And, of course, it's always something that is beautiful, graceful. No matter how much darkness there is in life, there is, of course, after that, arising into enlightenment. So inner peace, tranquility, something unfolding according to divine planning. One can't exist without the other. So we need these moments where we go through periods of time where things may feel a bit barren to get growth. They can't exist without the other. So it's during this time that we really need to trust in the process that we're being placed in the circumstances in order to grow as human beings, to find that place of peace within ourselves. It is bringing us enlightenment, or a chance, if we're open to it, a chance to see it in a different way, a different perspective, to look at it from a different way. It's really, with the Page of Pentacles, a growth opportunity to change our way of thinking. Instead of thinking of our own needs, getting ahead, focusing on striving for, say, for instance, getting that perfect job, or getting more money, or whatever we're looking for, whatever our ambition, our goal is in life. Instead of focusing on that, it's allowing us a moment in time that may not happen again, which gives us this real chance to grow as human beings, as a collective force, as all of us around the globe. I mean, when you think about it, how often has that happened in the history of humankind? I'm struggling thinking of one where the entire world was affected by something. So Spirit is saying here that this is a real opportunity for us all to grow and change our mindsets from just thinking of our own needs, and instead trusting in the process of growth and opportunity. Yeah, inner peace can come of this, believe it or not, if we change our focus from believing that we're entitled to something and having our entitlements taken away. If we leave that mindset in the past and refocus our energies towards how we can grow as human beings, how we can help others, what we can do to make the world a different or better place, I feel that this is a real opportunity for us all to find some more inner peace. If we let it. It's really kind of forced rest, if you think about it. A forced opportunity for us to really kind of be like the Buddha there and sit under the Bodhi tree and examine ourselves, examine our priorities, examine what's important in our life. Because there are many paths that we can take, and we're being asked to look at the path that provides us with a sense of inner peace and balance, harmony. It's a real opportunity for the world to step up and look at things in a very balanced way. When we're looking at the aurora of Gamma, this is a really interesting energy, and it's clarified with the Seven of Pentacles. The aurora of Gamma. Aurora is the Roman goddess of the dawn, the bringer of light. She is the initiator of a new cycle or chapter, the luminous dispeller of darkness, the flickering flame of hope in the heart that can burn into a very radiant fire that even the greatest challenges do not cause the soul to turn away in fear. So it signifies a fresh start and the overcoming of an old, worn-out cycle. Gamma waves are very high frequency in humans, associated with spiritual insight, clarity, pure vision, and breakthroughs. The gamma state is associated with very high-level processing that leads to integration and evolution. So transforming knowledge into wisdom through application. We tap into our ability to integrate information, and thereby we are healed and transformed. So as the world around us is becoming increasingly complex, the capacity for this processing is becoming necessary on a spiritual, emotional, psychological, even physical level. So there is a very strong link here between spiritual practices and the production of gamma waves. Shifting into this energy can facilitate the breaking up of stagnant modes of thinking and behaving. It's a frequency of evolution, again, of growth. Humans who are stuck in patterns repeat the same stories, the same words, the same thoughts. It's a loop. But Spirit wants us to stop the loop. It is soul withering, that kind of constriction. What's needed is something new, more alive, stimulating, something that is a bit unfamiliar, change. So these waves here, these gamma waves, can enhance our capacity to embrace the unfamiliar. And through that openness of being, I get an energy of adaptation, being able to adapt. Of course, this is going to take patience and time. It's not something that happens overnight. So I feel that we're being directed and guided here by Spirit to put the work in, but to have patience with ourselves to process what Spirit is saying to us here. And the ways that and the ways of thinking, our old patterns as human beings that we need to move on from. You know, the thing is, if we don't do that, Spirit will bring us more of these kinds of things down the road until we get it. You know, it's kind of like those tower moments, isn't it, in life? So that's what I feel. It's a process, it's a growth process, but the more we can do as people to change the frequency of the world and the world's thinking, from instead of one of fear, of toxicity, of anxiety and worry, to one of inner peace and growth and evolution, and recognizing it as a real opportunity to change, then the sooner we can find that peace, that peaceful existence that we all really crave in life. Now, for those of you who have been very focused on work and material gain, focusing on a legacy, building up the finances, it's a very difficult and challenging time because of what's going on in the world markets. Now, the reality is that Spirit here is asking you to perhaps put down the work for a bit. Maybe just loosen up on the thinking about what it is that you really need. How much money do you really need to retire on? You know, be very, very... Well, I want to say, often we get so caught up in the drive to get to the end. You know, we'll work for a living our entire lives, and then, yes, we might end up with a lot of money at the end, but we haven't experienced anything. We haven't experienced life. Spirit is saying surrender to play and surrender outdated beliefs of yourself. Let go of limitations, limiting ideas. Then own your own power. Soar into this more joyful, happy. Again, that we started off right here with the Spirit Fox, the Page of Wands. It's that inner child coming out. Play. Taking a break from overthinking a goal. Doing something fun. Recreation. Rejuvenation. Getting out, enjoying the sunshine, if we're able to do that wherever you happen to be living. Play. Be playful. Be passionate, if you're of that mindset as well. So the thing is, there are a lot of things that we can be doing other than what we normally would be working on. Really, that's what Spirit is trying to say there. Now, we also have this energy up here of the madder plant. This is a very interesting energy. It is about a coming of age and the strength. Madder is the plant of the blood and the goddess. The rich red dye it produces symbolizes the body and the fertility of the land. So changes, stressful changes. But again, I get an energy around this of strength. Physical strength or strength of character to endure in the face of any difficulties. To resist easy options or to delay our own satisfaction or reward for the sake of something more important. The blood red colour of madder symbolises life, but it also reflects our vulnerability and the destructive power of anger. So it's really about calming our nerves, and when we're out and experiencing some stressful times, and often the people that we're encountering are not wanting to be there, they're not wanting to give us bad news, they're not wanting to turn us away. So it's about remembering not to lash out in any anger. Of course, it's important to be able to express anger at times, but it's also equally fundamental that we understand its power and its power to hurt. So if there's anyone out there struggling to deal with anger about this whole situation, I feel changing that pattern, taking care of your own life force, anything that needs strengthening within you. It's kind of using anger as a source of power or of life force. So even though the feeling is there and you can't deny the feeling of anger, if there's something that you want to do or something that happens and you're thinking, well, why shouldn't I be able to do that? I've been able to do it in the past. If that gets too much for you, it's about channeling that anger, not in a hurtful way towards others, but more directed towards strengthening that life force. It could be exercise. Whatever it is, you have to get that out, but in a healthy way, is what I'm sensing here from Spirit. So guys, that's what I've got for you here. I hope it's been helpful. I'm going to pull a couple more cards here from the Soul Connection cards. Final message for anyone watching, please, Spirit Guides. What do you have for people watching? Message for anyone watching, Spirit Guides. We have light. Yeah. The thing is, there is light at the end of the tunnel. It won't always be this way. And one more, Spirit Guides. What do you have? And embracing. Embracing light. Embracing joy. Embracing it as an opportunity to do other things. You know, to channel your energy in a different way. To take up something new. To refocus on energies of love, support, reaching out to people who we haven't spoken to in a while, connecting in ways that we haven't connected in the past. And I don't mean on social media or texting. This is about actually reaching out on the telephone and having words, conversations, you know, have those interesting debates, whatever it is. I feel that there are people around you that want you to reach out. And they want to hear from you, especially if you're a younger person listening to this. Reach out to people who really do want to hear from you in an intimate way. So I'm going to leave it there, guys, and please take care. Bye for now.